Hi, Ms. Miller. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, we're going to get to Ellie Mistal with his fancy Harvard law degree. I wanted to talk to a normal person with a normal law degree from Law and Order, like you, about your reactions to the trial. So it's good. I get to go over everything again and also get everything out of my craw that is still stuck there. But where did you come down on the whole witnesses thing?
Well, okay. I would have loved to have witnesses, obviously.
Right.
Listening to hashtag sisters-in-law, which I do listen to. It's fantastic.
Our favorite new podcast with Jill Wine-Banks and Joyce Vance and Barb McQuaid. Yes.
They were all basically saying what Jamie Raskin ended up saying and others have said, which is they had such a good presentation that witnesses would just corroborate what, like the Butler in the House, she would have said the right thing. She would have been honest. They knew what she was going to say. But calling Mike Pence or anybody else, they wouldn't necessarily have been able to pre-interview them. So not knowing what they would have said could have turned out poorly.
They said that on Nicole Wallace, that they went cold. I mean, so this really, once again, is about Republican cowardice, whether it's Kevin McCarthy right up to Mike Pence, that they were not, the calling reluctant witnesses. So, yeah, I mean, I think there were a lot of elements of it, but go ahead. What else?
And they said that, like, if you have a bank robbery and you've got surveillance footage, interviewing people in the bank doesn't really necessarily, unless you want an emotional reaction, help.
Right. I said that yesterday, that, you see the cop being beaten with a pole. You don't need him to go, oh, I was beaten with a pole. You've seen it.
Well, and a lot of these people are still in the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them still aren't ready to be even deposed, let alone anything else, because it was such a speedy trial. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of time, and the fact that they got all of that stuff put together so quickly was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, they did do, that's what I was saying yesterday, is two things can be true at once. Is like, did we wish we could have had, of course, had witnesses, but did they also do an amazing, spectacular job? Yeah. I mean,
they did. And the fact that the GOP was threatening COVID relief and all of these other things.
Yeah, because Republicans, you're right, they have no soul. They will shoot the hostage. Right. They will shoot the baby in the head. So they will, and they don't care if we get COVID relief anyway, right? I mean, they're not going to vote for it anyway, which is why, and plus that stupid lawyer, oh my God, you know what, did we cover this yesterday? Vander Peen, is that his name?
Vander Peen.
Is that German for penis? I believe it is.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it's I'm a big D is basically what his name translates.
Basically, yes. Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, he just was so ridiculous. He was such a liar, but the whole Calvary thing. Oh my God, they just, I mean, he literally got laughed at to his face. He was so ridiculous with his lies, right? But he's like, because obviously it was a misspelling. She obviously meant cavalry. The cavalry's coming. No one says the cavalry's coming. So then he turns it into, oh, you're smearing Christians because she was. No, she didn't bring a crucifix and whatever. No. She said the cavalry's coming. Meaning, I was like, oh my God. And then how about when he went, oh, he has a very good relationship with Mike Pence. I'm sure he was very concerned about him and about all of you. And people literally, you could hear like laugh track. Like even Republican senators are like, oh, give me a break. Really? Really? Vander Peen. So
that means he's a D the size of a van. That's what that means.
Yes. They did just go with the D head defense. I think Charlie wrote that. Just let's be giant D heads. That's what we're going to be. So going through the timeline, Jody, Raskin saw the witness vote as a final opportunity to hold Trump accountable, get new voices on the record. They discussed calling Pence and his husky-looking chief of staff, Mark Short. He looks like a husky. Okay. I don't know, something. His eyes, he looks like he chews grizzle. I don't know. There's something going on there. Okay, him. They connected with a member of Pence's staff after the 10 a.m. vote. The responses they received were not encouraging. So that's what they were saying about when you have hostile witnesses, you're not sure how that's going to go.
Right.
And again, about their cowardices and not about any failure on the part of Democrats, right? It was not a standard trial. Senate Democrats were eager to get on with Biden's agenda, and extending the trial could alienate the small group of Republicans who had signaled they might convict. I believe that's what somebody told them, is you may lose some of these Republican votes. So, I mean,
Right.
you have to put yourselves under the pressure they were under in that room trying to make all these decisions. I mean, there were so many elements that are not part of a normal trial, Jody. I mean, COVID relief and,
Right. I mean, if this were a criminal trial,
Right.
those wouldn't even be an option. It would be like, whatever, dudes, it matters not. But
And I
now
think they made a good point that the individual who's in Trump's vicinity on January 6th were not friendly to us and would have required subpoenas and months of litigation. Someone
Right.
pointed out yesterday, Jody, that Don McGahn, they're still fighting that over the last, because if you fight it, it can go on literally, I think Joe Neguse said last night, not just for months, for years. I mean, so that's the other, which, so I think once we all calm down, and by we, I mean me, very high strung about witnesses. Okay. Right, but the bulk of the Senate Democrats arrived at the conclusion that the case was overwhelming and witnesses would do little to move GOP votes. Mazie Hirono, who said they made such a strong case, if I thought any further witnesses would change any Republican minds, I'd say go for it, but I don't think so. And she generally does not take any bull, as you know.
That is such bull. I can hardly stand it.
She's a straight shooter. Vander Penis issued a threat. They want to have witness. I'm going to need at least 100 depositions, not just one. That was, first of all, a bluff. Did you hear about it? They reporting that they were in an absolute white knuckle panic because they were like, first of all, they may have all quit because they already quit once and they assumed this was over. I'm sure that's why they took this. Is there it's like Ted Cruz said it out loud. Oh, it's already won. Just don't screw it up.
Right.
They didn't even have to do anything. Right. And so now thinking they'd have to put on an actual trial. Right. So I think that was part of it, is they were bluffing. They were in an absolute panic because the other thing is the Senate moves to authorize witnesses, not them.
right.
Right. So, yeah. Anyway, but Republican senators thought to be in play for conviction had voted against witnesses, indicating they'd seen enough. So there were, when you read through the whole timeline of how this went down, you go, okay, I get it. Chris Coons told managers any delay would cost Republican votes to convict and potentially some Democratic votes too. He urged them to accept an emerging deal, accepting what they did, the written statement, which they also got to read, which was a step even better than just accepting the written statement. But if he did say the thing about Valentine's Day, that was probably, and just for bitter single people like me, I'm like, who the cares about Valentine's Day? Just convict his mother.
This is a vacation week for them anyways. Make them work.
Well, that's the other thing, Travis, is that, what do you mean the Senate, we can't take the time? You weren't doing anything anyway for the next 8 days or whatever, right? Yeah. It's like COVID, right? When people ask you to do stuff, I'm not doing anything. We know you're not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'll make it up. Okay. By the way, Stephen Beschlaw said, I don't know about you, but I still want to know exactly what arrangement Trump made with Putin and the Russians to justify his 4 years of sucking up to Moscow and betraying America and democracy. And I still want him held accountable for that, too. Me, too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, yes, all of it. It's, and again, not, Jody, for vengeance, but for not just our national security, our precedent, our rule of law, our, it's just, okay. It's very dangerous setting a precedent that all of this is okay. And we're just going to move on.
You have to remember, Stephanie, that he's only been out of office not even a month yet. So it's going to take time to build cases against him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scream over your very reasonable.
Wow. Settle down.
You're here. We need you here.
Yeah, we need you
We need you here.
down here somewhere.
I'm one of the velociraptors.
Not up here. Not up here. We need you down here.
All right.
Here.
I got it. No, I just these what was it? Who is this? The an attorney for on Morning Joe said that Lindsey Graham will likely be off the hook for charges of tampering with Georgia's election results, but former Mayor Giuliani better get a lawyer. Well, I don't care how we get all these they have been breaking the law left and right because Lindsey Graham, I guess they're saying, are lucky there's no audio of that call. Trump, first of all, should no question go down. But it's on tape. And it could not be more illegal what he's saying. You don't even have to have a degree from Law and Order, for God's sakes.
Well, he threatened them with criminal prosecution. That alone.
Yes. But Lindsey Graham,
I mean, you could get that with a law degree from Legally Blonde.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Okay.
Well,
but yes. But anyway, there's, and this is the thing that just, oh my God, Jody, I know you listen to the legal experts and you're like, because they're saying incitement, it's a much higher bar criminally. This is why this first part was absolutely for the Senate. This was for the United States of America's government. This is what impeachment was made for, what we just tried, right? Because, yes, I get it in a court of law. I mean, we'll ask Ellie, but, it's a higher standard for incitement and blah, blah, blah. But he can't keep getting away with this, Jody. My point is that he can't keep getting away with this, right? Am I right?
He can't keep getting away with this! He can't keep getting away with it!
Okay, so here's the good news about Giuliani. He said the lawyer said, I think there's a great chance of filing charges against Giuliani because he made false statements to local and state governmental bodies. And the DA in Atlanta said she's expanding her investigation to include the making of false statements. When he went before the state Senate committee in Atlanta, which is in DA Willis's district, he said there are 10,000 dead people who voted, or there are suitcases full of fake ballots that have been counted. That's the kind of stuff that can get you in a pair of handcuffs. So if you're Rudy Giuliani, you might want to start butt-dialing criminal defense lawyers because he might need them. Who is America's early warning system, and who is going to save America, Chris LaVoy?
Black ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, seriously, we're just like waiting for, D.A. Willis and, Letitia James in New York. We're like, please just tell me he just doesn't, that all of this. He's individual one. I don't get it. Do we just kind of go, oh, well, never mind.
Well, I think...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think that what they're trying to do is get it so perfect. They have to get the cases as perfect as possible because prosecuting an ex-president takes it to a whole new level of everything. They have to have everything as perfect as possible, which is why it's not going to happen next week, Stephanie. It's going to take...
Here?
I'm sorry.
Down here.
Sorry. I need to be tethered to something. Again, I'm not
no
a
more
lawyer.
Coffee.
I'm not a lawyer, but Brad Raffensperger, or as Vander Penis calls him, Brett Russelberg. Okay, didn't you call him some football player?
Washful da.
Right.
Waffle da.
Right. He's the football player from Waffle-Dar.
Waffle-da.
I don't support the sports. Who did he call him? He called him a famous football player instead of
Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger. He got the name completely wrong.
Ben Roethlisberger.
He called him Ben
yeah.
Roethlisberger, not. Okay. But anyway, Brad, everybody knows the difference between that and Hoffhauer and Furrier. I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Brad Raffensperger. Thank you. Brad Raffensperger.
Raffensperger.
I mean, he said.
Pfeffer Incorporated.
Thank you. From Pfeffer Incorporated. Said Shemazel. No, he didn't say Shamil Shemazel. Keep me on track, Chris. Okay. He said, this is a Republican. This would seem like strong enough evidence to me, Jody. He said Graham asked him if he could invalidate all mail-in ballots in particular counties. Graham also suggested that politically biased poll workers may have accepted ballots with signatures that didn't match what the state had on file, asked if the state could toss all ballots from counties where the audit found higher rates of non-matching signatures. And so Raffensperger's testimony is not enough because there's no audio. Graham will get. He can't keep getting away with it. He can't. Okay. I guess we should feel happy that he said Lara Trump is the future of the Republican Party because
God.
Well then, fantastic.
You know why it's not Eric, right?
Okay, first of all, the only thing she's done is had the judgment to marry Eric Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good judgment.
Wait, do we have
and that's why he's not running.
Here's Lady.
It's because she's prettier than he is.
Here's Lady G.
North Carolina, the biggest winner, I think, of this whole impeachment trial is Lara Trump. My dear friend Richard Burr, who I like and have been friends to a long time, just made Lara Trump almost a certain nominee for the Senate seat in North Carolina to replace him if she runs. And I'll certainly be behind her because I think she represents the future of the Republican Party.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Her qualifications would be
nothing.
Also, she doesn't live there, and she's never run.
She's a carpetbagger
for anything.
Yep.
Right.
She's a blonde entitled carpetbagger.
Also, her
That's a
name's-
good Republican.
Her name's Lara, not Laura, but I don't. I
Right,
guess that's
it's Lara.
Not Laura.
All right.
He should know that. He's like in with them.
I thought they were best buds.
Yeah.
Yes. Who was my favorite? Where was my favorite tweet? Hang on. Her only qualification is keeping Eric from eating his dad's crayons. Oh, she's also implicated in a scheme of her own with Jared Kushner that helped establish a shell company that spent half of the ex-president's massive war chest and secretly paid family members and associates. She was president of that company. So she does have that experience in just the general grifting and criminality of the Trump family with none of the elective experience or even living in the state. But that's the future, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Eric. Mrs. Hi, I'm Eric.
Hey, Mrs. Eric.
I'm Mrs.
I'm
Eric.
Eric.
I'm Mrs. Eric.
Oof.
Didn't you love that? The second impeachment. We're 2-0. That's what Eric tweeted. 2-0. Like that's a.
Well,
it's
again,
like
Trump-
probably when he had to go to summer school twice. He was like 2-0.
Well, his dad did get more votes than a Clinton impeachment, so.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. I just can't. I can't. I literally can't. This morning is the morning I stopped being able to even at all.